This is an extraordinary piece of tape from Soledad O'Brien on CNN. Now, as you know right now, Darrell Issa has been holding hearings on the attack in Benghazi, which led to the deaths of our ambassador to Libya and three other embassy personnel. One of whom, I guess, Mitt Romney, was going around talking about how he had met at a party in California. Apparently, Mitt Romney has had to stop talking about this because the victim's mother said, please stop doing this. And apparently the victim's best friend was like, I remember when Mitt Romney had met my friend. My friend said he was amazed at what a tool Mitt Romney was. And Mitt Romney kept asking him his name over and over again. And we have a situation where, in Benghazi anyways, the State Department has now made clear that there was, in fact, no protest about the film in Benghazi. Now, I have to say, I have to give myself some credit here because I always thought that was very strange. And I always thought to the extent that there was any protest of a film there, it would have been just simply a ruse by this militant group in Libya that wanted to attack. It's not really the embassy. It was actually just a consulate, or not even an official consulate yet. And that was part of the problem, frankly. That it just didn't make sense that in Libya they would be up in arms about this so quickly. I understood why Egypt, because it was broadcast in Egypt, and I got the idea that Libya and Egypt are next door to each other, but nevertheless. So it turns out the State Department says that we had never concluded that it was part of a protest. The administration, of course, and particularly the UN Secretary Rice, had said that there was a protest. So there was a clear breakdown in communication, all of which is, I guess, only problematic to the extent that it happened after the fact. Prior to the time, there's a lot of questioning as to why Ambassador Stevens was not given more security and more protection. I've heard competing stories that maybe not necessarily are mutually exclusive, that the State Department did not want to or did not have the resources to provide extra security, that Ambassador Stevens did not want to be ensconced in a high-walled, barriered consulate. He had moved to Benghazi because he wanted to be at the center of where the Libyan Free Government essentially started. They were in at least a fairly temporary or new facility that was not built to be an embassy. It was simply I think it was like an old school or something to that effect. But what's really stunning is this Republican Chaffetz, who sits on this Darrell Issa committee, on CNN yesterday, both blasting the administration for not providing more security and defending the fact that they wouldn't authorize the funds for more security. Here's that clip now. Hopefully this will play.
Is it true that you voted to cut the funding for embassy security?
Absolutely. Look, we have to make priorities and choices in this country. We have, think about this, 15,000 contractors in Iraq. We have more than 6,000 contractors, a private army there for President Obama in Baghdad. And we're talking about, can we get 24 or so people into Libya to help protect our forces? When you're in tough economic times, you have to make difficult choices.
Okay,
you have to prioritize things.
So you're prioritizing. So when there are complaints that, in fact, that there was not enough security, you've just said absolutely that you cut. You were the one to vote against, to increase security for the State Department, which would lead directly to Benghazi. That seems like you're saying you have a hand in the responsibility to this, right? The funding of the security, if you're happy to cut it?
You get it. but because there are literally close to 200 embassies, consulates, those types of things. You have thousands of people that are involved in this. You have to prioritize things. Libya, before 9/11, 2 bombings on our consulate out there. Of course, that's got to be a higher priority than making sure that we're protecting some other emphasis.
We just heard that from the clip from one of the guys who's going to testify before you today that there was definitely this pressure in his mind to not staff the embassy fully security-wise. Wouldn't that pressure be coming from you directly, essentially, people and others who voted against funding for security? Keep it low because there's no funding for security.
Well, you're also talking about a vote that never came to fruition because we actually continued at the exact same funding levels moving forward. This is a vote that happened over in the House, but remember, the Senate never got to this point, so we did a continuing resolution. So it's a red herring. The reality is you have to prioritize things. And when you're talking about such a small number of security personnel, they're in country. That's a problem. The other thing that we're going to talk about in this hearing is the fact that the physical facilities themselves did not meet the minimum standards. And when you're in Libya after a revolution, I've got to argue that that's got to be a higher priority than protecting some other, compound in Mauritius or wherever you might be. I don't mean to pick on them, but you've got to prioritize things. And what clearly didn't happen is Libya was not a priority. I believe what I've heard is that it's because they wanted the appearance of normalization. That's what they wanted. That fit the Obama narrative moving forward.
It'll be interesting to see what comes out of your hearing today. Nice to see you as always. Thank you for talking with us.
Thanks, Soledad.
Appreciate it.
So here you have Representative Chaffetz first arguing that the State Department wasn't prioritizing it that well to try and excuse his vote on why he had to cut, didn't want to increase the budget for security for the State Department. And then he falls back on that old chestnut. Well, the Senate didn't pass it anyways, so my vote didn't count. Unbelievable. Really stunning.